double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah, we cold too.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You the Offseason, man. This is the interview series we do during the offseason when there's no I'm Not Gonna Hold You, no kind of quiet month. The quiet months was just baseball on, even though I love baseball. A lot of people don't watch baseball. So, this is what we're doing in the offseason, man. So I'm glad you guys have joined me for another edition. This week, I've got the legendary Chuck English of the Cool Kids here joining me today, man. How you feeling today, G?
I'm good, man. Happy to be here.
Glad you could join me, man. Let's just get it started, man. I always like to ask people this question when we start the show. Two of my favorite basketball players all the time, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. They always talk about like who their muses are, like who the guys or the women they looked up to, and heading into this particular career choice. Then, who are some of your muses and people that you looked up to, getting into music and things like that?
Musically, it was really like a strong, just one individual that I could see shifted what my goals and aspirations were early. It was for real. I really didn't, you know what I mean? Like I've always had, like very tight-knit family. Me and my dad have always had a very close relationship. So it wasn't like I looked up to too much.
Right.
I mean, honestly, let me switch that. The first person I ever looked up to, and it was lights out, was Charles Woodson.
Okay. So
like I went from Charles Woodson and wanting to be just like him to, like listening to Khalif's first album because my dad had the CD. When they used to send you a whole bunch of free CDs.
Oh yeah, the free CD package. Yeah, I remember those back in the day.
Yeah, so it was like them, and then when I heard "Please Don't Mind" from Philly's Most Wanted, I was like, all right, yeah, I want to make beats. And then after that, came, and then after that, like "I Love You" by Justin Timberlake, and it was like all these instruments that I used to mess with sounding really good in the pop space. And I was like, oh, I could do that.
Right.
And up since then.
Well, let's talk about like the early beginnings, man. I know from Michigan. I know you moved to Chicago around 18. Tell me kind of growing up what that was like and kind of like what the differences are between the two places. Like I'm born and raised from Southside Chicago. My auntie lives in Detroit, so I have a lot of people out in Michigan and Detroit like that. So I've been back and forth. But just tell me like what it was like growing up there and like what kind of like what these two cities mean to you.
The cities both of them are like a parent and a step parent. Detroit is my parent. And when I went to Chicago, it was like going off to live with a parent I ain't, you know what I'm saying, I grew up with. But,
right.
I contribute like all of my 20s. All my 20s is Chicago. All my, like grown-up years. I was only a child in Detroit, but going back and forth in the summers all my life. It's like 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. If it was summertime, we was in Chicago. I mean, the only difference is it's not much. But I would say the difference is Chicago had more of the world class, like it felt like I was, in a real major city.
Right.
Detroit felt major, but it was home. But when I was in Chicago, I started peeping all the similarities. You know what I mean? Like Chicago got pizza, Detroit got pizza. You know what I'm saying? Chicago got hot dogs, Detroit got hot dogs. Detroit niggas jit, Chicago niggas footwork. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
There's so many similarities. It's just, the only really big difference is how we talk. Like Detroit people talk way different than Chicago.
Yeah.
Like you can tell the difference, but it's so similar that you would have had to really be kind of from both places. You know what I'm saying? It's Chicago people that's like, yeah, I know that nigga from Detroit, but he from here too. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like I've gotten that my whole career, but it's like that's my identity. Like I've been in LA close to 13 years now. Now some LA niggas like, yeah, we know he from over there, but he from over here now. You know what I mean? So, but the love I have for both places is immense because we both got strong sports cultures. We got city pride. I don't think the only people prouder to be from Detroit or Chicago is New York
Probably
people.
New Yorkers. Yeah.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. But the thing about Detroiters is we like a fraternity. Anytime we outside of the city, you're gonna find some Detroit people, and then you sticking with them. You know, Chicago people are everywhere. You don't even know who. You couldn't tell if you wanted to tell. You know what I'm saying? There's
Well, I
something
think.
about.
Well, I was gonna say, not to cut you off. I just feel like I've been out here in LA for next should be my 10th year since I moved to LA. So I definitely feel what you're saying about people saying, "Oh yeah, he's from Chicago, he's from here too."
Yeah.
But it's that certain thing that when I was in Chicago, I didn't know like we had like an accent or things like that because I was around people who talked like me. And then when I moved here, first people asked like, "You from the South?" And I'm like, "No, I'm from Chicago." Now it's like I can spot a Chicago accent out like that.
Yeah.
And I've spent so much time in Detroit too because my auntie lives there. It's kind of the same thing where it's like, oh, I can really tell the difference between them. Actually, like the most people I've met out here, like in my time here, it's actually weird. Maybe 15% of people I've met have actually been from Los Angeles. The rest have been Chicago, Detroit, New York. And it's kind of like you said, it's been like a little bit of fraternity.
Yeah. And it's like, the accents is very easily spottable, especially if you're from Detroit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like those two cities is the only thing that really separates it is a lake.
Yep. And I think the thing too about Detroit, what I love, like you said, about how we're both proud of our cities, is like I've been to Detroit many times. I used to spend Detroit going to summer. My first like real summer in Detroit was like 2004. I had just finished like my freshman year of high school. Summer. Yeah, it was good. The Pistons just won a championship. Yeah. And I just remember being there for a little bit. Yeah, it was cracking out there. And that's when I kind of like spent a lot of my time there. So now it's like I went there to do the Bears-Lions game. It'd be like my first year covering the Bears. I was like 2021. And I remember going to the Ford Field, a lady that was like, "Oh, let me show you around." And it's like people were so proud of just the area, you know what I'm saying? And that kind of like stood out to me.
Yeah, that was a great summer. You couldn't really, it wasn't nothing else. It wasn't nothing else but action that summer.
Yeah. I don't remember the I think it was called the Joe Dumars arcade or something like that. Field House, yes. I went to the Joe Dumars Field House and I was like, "Oh damn, this shit is cracking." You know what I'm saying? We would hit that up all the time.
And it was so popping in like 99, like 98, 99. They put a teen club in there.
Oh,
it was
for real?
A teen club inside of Joe Dumars, but like that was like one of them things pre-internet that didn't necessarily make sense, but it made the most sense. You know what I mean? Because they had hockey rinks on one side.
Yeah, they had hockey rinks. I remember
basketballs on the other side, and it's like I have too many memories in that place because I played in the league. I played like a little. It wasn't AAU, but I played in the league there. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like I went to the teen club there. Like it was a deep experience.
It kind of gave me like a little bit of feel of the rink in Chicago. It kind of reminded me of that a little bit.
Yeah.
It was just someplace for, cool for people to, to kick it at, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I had the pleasure of meeting Joe Dumars like my first year I moved to LA. I was working at this FedEx in like Westwood. So like all the, that's the NBA hub during offseason. Hella players retired. Everybody would come in. Joe Dumars came in, and I was just able to like tell him about, I'm gonna be in Detroit and tell him about the field house. And he was like, just kind of, and all that. I kind of even remembered that place. Mm-hmm. So it was just kind of cool to like, talk to him about that.
Yeah, that place was monumental.
Now let's talk about like the music. Now, before we get into like how you guys started, how you started. I want to kind of talk about the Detroit music scene currently. I kind of feel like it's kind of like the last couple of years. It's been like a new wave of acts out there. What do you feel about like some of the newer guys? Because at the point it was kind of just really like, of course, you had Eminem, everything he was doing, Slum Village. Like, what do you think about like the newer crop of artists from Detroit?
When you really from there it just sounds like the city. It's just now everybody else gets to listen to it with us. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like Detroit always played its own stuff. Like when I was growing up, you wasn't gonna hear songs on the radio in the club or in the party. We was playing ghetto tech. We was playing the shit we listened to.
Right.
So that whole sped up shit kind of sped like I wouldn't say it spilled off into the new rap, but Detroit niggas want to listen to what they want to listen to, and they
Right.
want to hear Detroit shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's a little bit more lighthearted. It's like a little playerish. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't really shoot them up bang bang on too many Detroit records, but them be the niggas that do that. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, it's like
Exactly.
wow, shit, you couldn't even be a Detroit rapper unless you was exactly what you said you was. And then labels was scared of you, or it wasn't no real bridge between musicality and street rap music. And now, I mean, because then we had this window of opportunity for like a lot of the lo-fi and all of the Dilla-esque things
Right.
that happened was because there was that separation. You know what I mean? But even Slum Village and Dilla, they had their height to the point where it's like everybody knew. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? They used to play Nobody Believes Me, but I didn't even know that the beat "Forget This Money" by Slum Village was a real beat. They used to play that shit underneath the traffic and weather announcements on the
Oh
radio
wow.
on the way to school.
Damn. That's crazy.
Yeah, like I thought that was just what that was. And then when I heard the song, I was like, oh shit. Like Detroit has really always not separated. They've always celebrated and supported their own, whether people know it or not. Sometimes you just gotta lead a city.
Right.
Because shit, if you heard something Detroit in another city and other Detroit people there, it's going crazy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like even that our little hustle dance. It's like how Chicago got stepping in and ballroom, Detroit got
Yep.
ballroom and hustling. And it's like, Tamia, that Tamia song is about the most Detroit song you could ever hear right now. The one where they be doing that little 12-step program.
Yeah.
So they like all goes back into the rap. It's like it's a level of originality, and then it's spread throughout the whole state. You know what I mean? Like Flint rappers getting with Detroit rappers. Flint and Detroit wasn't getting along to do shit, but like smoke something for a really long time. Now it's like, you'll go on the internet and they'll call it the Michigan sound, which I'm not mad at. It's still the Detroit sound, but
Right.
like now my the way I can answer this for real is now if you in Detroit and you really got something to say, or you a fly nigga and you know what I'm saying, you could you could really build yourself a career and never really talk to a label. You know what I mean? Like Detroit goes on YouTube. Like,
Right.
we make our decisions based off that.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's I kind of like that's how like the industry is now too. And I think I was talking to a friend the other day. Like it's kind of the same thing out here in California a little bit. Like you can really like tour and make your whole career and not ever leave the state. Like it's kind of like the same thing,
Well, Michigan and California are very similar to me. Like not in size, but in how there's several different cities that's way different. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like in Detroit, you got Detroit. In Michigan, you got Detroit, you got Pontiac, you got Flint, you got Saginaw. And on the other side of the state, you got Muskegon, Benton Harbor. And all of these spots is known for like hoopers and hood shit. And
Right.
like California, it's like Carson, all of them, LA,
Pasadena,
Hawthorne, all of that shit is like, it has all the ecosystems. It's got sports, it's got food, and you can get your ass shot. Like,
exactly.
It ain't like you going anywhere. And it's not like I'm just talking about us. Shit, it's white cities you'll get your ass popped in Michigan. Same way in California.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like it's very similar. It's surrounded by water. And both states, even though Michigan don't have too many, they don't got like double sports teams. Like we don't got 2 basketball teams or 2 football teams. But that type of sport loyalty is insane. You know what I mean? It's like watching Angels fans. You know what I mean? Angels fans, Cubs fans. It's like it's even Tigers fans. It's like we got a level of delusion every year. Like
I think that's the great thing about being a sports fan is you do have that level of delusion. You know what I'm saying?
It keeps you happy, man. It keeps
you have to.
It makes Earth funner, man. You got to be a delusional sports fan, and you ain't having no fun.
Yeah, I mean,
imagine being a delusional Michigan fan all through the 10s, 2010, 11, 12, all that.
Now I'm a Chicago Bears fan. I know nothing but delusion.
Yeah, true. I was there with y'all when the Lions was trash and going 0-16. I definitely rode the Bears wave for a minute. The Lovie Smith Bear era, I was fucking with. Like
it was underappreciated era.
Very underappreciated. And y'all had a couple Michigan Wolverines on there, so I was fucking with it. And
that's actually like a perfect segue. I mean, before we get into your actual, cool kids, I want to talk about the Lions for this year. Kind of like flip the script a little bit. Yeah. This year's Lions, I feel like this team's like a team on the rise. Last year in the two of the games I went to, I was at the last Lions Bears game we did to cover down. The Bears got the ass whooped, but I just remember like being in the press box and just. I feel like the feeling was back. It felt like a playoff game. I know the Lions today, they had like a chance to get in the playoffs the last 2 weeks. It was like a lot of people showed up. It felt loud. Like, what do you feel about what the Lions mean to the city? Because I don't think people who haven't spent a lot of time in Detroit realize that there's a big ass fan base for the Lions and what the expectations are for this upcoming year.
It ain't nothing like being a Lions fan, man. People will never understand your pain, and I've been preaching this shit. Lions win a Super Bowl, the whole city of Detroit switch. It's a whole other city. It's almost like it's gonna be world class. It's the same bounce that it gave Kansas City, but Kansas City got 2 championship teams in the past
4 years.
10 years. Yeah, but like Royals
too, 2015. Yep.
Yeah, so it's like while they're fans, there's 2 Kansas Cities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a Missouri one and it's a Kansas one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like we don't understand that part. Everything when it's football time, everything is that's why Ford Field sell out.
Yep.
Ford Field sell out no matter what our record is. And people gonna tailgate and we still gonna watch the Thanksgiving game and think that it's gonna go our way. The thing that is this time is I think the front office has focused on it focused on the infrastructure more than because for a whole about 5-6 years Detroit to get the number 1 pick and pick a fucking wide receiver.
Exactly.
We didn't have no quarterback. You know what I mean? They didn't got a quarterback, and then when Stafford got there, his first 3 years he was hurt. You know what I mean? Like now I think. Like, for example, Detroit Lions fans, we the only fans that'll be like, nah, we gonna keep Goff. Y'all wildin'. You know what I'm saying?
Like we love Jared Goff.
like we talking about efficiency. So it's like we know we got a quarterback and he has an arm and he's extremely accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, he not gonna bounce out the pocket, but that's why the Lions spent the money on the offensive line now. You know what I'm saying? The O-line, D-line. We interchange wide receivers. We can make a wide receiver at this point.
Yeah, y'all got a hell of a wide receiver, bro.
Yeah, but we also had, for the first time, we had a running game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like that's what's getting the excitement together. More than it just being what the narrative is, the real Lions fans are seeing like, oh, we got some dogs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they'll play even if we not going to the playoffs. It's like, they playing for the people inside of Ford Field. And it's like, no offense, but I ain't never seen the Bears be like, oh, we a Soldier. We got to get it together. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I feel like a lot of Bears fans, I hate Soldier Field personally. It's the worst field in football.
Oh, I know. I went to a game. I've been to a couple games, but like, I've been to a game where it rained and the whole stadium flooded. And then I've been to a game where the Bears played the Patriots. It's about like 10 years ago. And it was the coldest, snowiest game ever.
Remember that game.
Yeah, wasn't nobody in there. Nobody in there had a good time.
Yeah, it's what I can't wait till the Arlington Heights Stadium wakes up. Opens up. I'm gonna be very happy about that. But
Oh, that's happening.
yeah, it's happening. They already bought the land. They sold it. It's really just about plotting everything right now. So that's gonna happen. I don't know what year. Probably 2029. It takes about 5 years to build
Right.
everything, but it's gonna go down. But yeah, man. Let's get into what happened with the music. The Cool Kids, one of the most legendary hip hop groups of all time. I went to Columbia College, and that's how I first learned about you guys. Like they would play y'all
Okay.
music all the time. I was at Columbia from '07 to 2012, so that's how I was really really big on you guys. I mean, actually, an artist I managed, I actually did a song with Mikey like back in it was like 2012, I think it was a minute ago.
Mhm.
But like tell us like how your relationship with Mikey Rocks and like how you guys got together and why you want to make music to begin with.
Oh no, that's my brother. And we did we did the world together. You know what I mean? And it's like even in this moment right now, some of the stuff we doing next, and it's the sharpest. It's like I don't gotta worry about him wanting to progress and make some shit that really wrinkle somebody's shirt. And that's kind of like how it began. It's like I was just making beats and dreaming and imagining how I was gonna be or literally lap what Pharrell did. I was just like, oh, all right, if he gonna do it like this, I'm gonna do it like that.
Right.
And it's like, to some people, I've had that impact that he had on me. So, the thing that made it different is when I was making these beats and stuff and I was envisioning them on people or who I was gonna give them to, I always wanted to break my own crew of people like he did. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like Khalees didn't come to him. The clips didn't come to him after that already. It was like that came from his ecosystem. So when we met, and he was like, "I make beats too," but then he started rapping. So it'd be like the Neptunes met, but Chad started rapping for real and was
Yeah.
better. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
Mikey always been better at me, and Mikey better than everybody at rapping to me. And if you really listen to him, everybody know that I'm not. That ain't even
Nah, you
that's not
spit.
even a stretch. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Exactly.
So when I realized I could put what I'm doing with what he was doing, it was like we just kept our head down and walked in the right direction. And you look up, it's 15 years later, and it's still sharp on people's minds. Like we ain't never had no shelf life.
Right.
If we was to drop some with some backing, I'm pretty sure half the hip hop community would at least be like, "Oh yeah, we gotta listen to this."
Yeah.
And 3 songs in, I would have fucked you up. So it would have been like, it's like everything we didn't did. It's not at a mainstream volume level, but that's what saved us. You know what I'm saying? You don't need too many people looking at your shit that don't even want to listen to it. And
Right.
that's the perils of being mainstream and being on a popular, phone line. It's like people always gonna have something to say regardless. Like that's just knowledge. And we damn near the first rap group on the internet for real.
Yeah.
So we took shrapnel coming through the door. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I was listening to Blog Era podcast. I'm listening to all this coverage of the history that we all created. And it's like, it's beautiful now that we get the flowers that people want to give us. But, walking in the door, it was like, unless you was in college or dressed like us, you was like, who the fuck is this?
Right.
But then people would listen to us and their attitudes would change. It was like they was looking at us thinking we was going to do some maybe softer shit or sugar the culture up. But literally, I'm a rap historian. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I don't want to, I would never stray off the path of what made me excited about that musical style. Like, nothing can change the way I felt when I heard MC Breed, Ain't No Future in Your Frontin', or how my dad had me rapping Paid in Full at 2 and 3, and just what that felt like I will never let that go. So the fact that we was able to translate, the influences I had from rap into something that was new that like now kids probably telling they like kids that grew up on this probably telling their kids like, man, you don't know nothing about
Right,
that.
exactly. You don't know
You know what I
about
mean?
this shit.
I'll take that. You know what I'm saying? Like my life is good. I'm happy. And it's like me and bro ain't never took a day off. Even when we had our break and shit, that was personal. So we could actually breathe for a second
Right.
because the world was shifting. You know, like when the blog era ended, it was like, how could we exist without trying to sound like something everybody trying to cover? You know, like
Right.
the end of that was, you know, the Meek Mill, Drake, Amen era. And I remember when that song came out, I'm like, I ain't got nothing for these niggas. I'm like, I don't know what they want to listen to. I even fuck with that song, but I'm just like, everybody's attitude is shifted. It was like we was early too. Like we had a run. Rocky and Ferg them popped up. I was like, all right, we're gonna sit on the bench a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, why try to compete with the next wave of things just to do it? Like, I'm a fan too. So if you was in high school listening to Cool Kids, when you in college and you listen to ASAP, that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
you know, we was on some cool shit. We on bikes and I'm talking about thread counts in a jersey and you know, like having a Terry Mills whole jersey fit on, and then that shit's cool to you in high school. You get to college, it's still cool to you, but now you fucking with the bitches. You might be, you know what I'm saying, smoking weed, popped a pill or two. Now you want to listen to something that's a little bit more, I don't want to say adult, but it was a shift.
Yeah,
You
a
know what I
little,
mean?
little mature, a little bit.
Yeah, but it's like we running the Rocky and them. They like, man, shit, we wouldn't even be here without what y'all did. And I'm like, I'm watching what y'all did. Like, shit, I'm gonna sit back and let it, you know what I mean? Let it marinate. Because the thing about being a really good artist is just timing. You know what I'm saying? Like, timing is everything. And, you know, they always say comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah.
So we never compared ourselves to nobody. I ain't, you know, like the only thing I wanted was, oh, y'all remind me of like EPMD or Run DMC. Yeah, I'll take that, but
Right.
that's not what it is, but I'll take it. You know what I mean? Like, but I
Yeah.
was never trying to be like, all right, we the new Run DMC. Let's make some shit that sounds like that. And in music, you kind of get bullied into keeping up. You know,
Yeah.
you'll hear artists, you'll like them, and then 2 years later, they making shit that sound like other people. That's not they call. They didn't want to do that shit.
Nah, that
But
was
you gotta hold. Sometimes you gotta hold on the rope a little bit and make sure that the route you want to go is the route you want to go. It's like sailing. Like you really got to shift your mast to the direction you want to go. And even though if it's windy or if it's treacherous, like if that's the direction you want to go, then you set. If you don't have no set direction, then people know you'll blow wherever way the wind is going. And you don't really notice you're ruining your career doing that. You know, like there's certain shit you can't switch up. It's like if Larry David did an action movie. You know what I'm saying?
It'll throw you off. Like, what is
Bro,
this?
listen, it'll sell out. If Larry David did an action movie, it would pack the motherfucking movie theater.
Yeah.
So everybody in the movie theater would be like, yeah,
This ain't it.
I don't know if this should be the move. You know what I'm
We will
saying?
have the Larry David reaction to Larry David.
Yeah. You'd be like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? There's the thing that makes Larry David who he is and who I really, you know, if I had a musical like chapter close or, you know, when it's all said and done, I definitely want to go down Larry David-ish because everything he did worked and he stuck to himself. And you watch you watch Curb and you go back and watch Seinfeld and you'll be like, this man never changed anything.
Never changed. It's just like a more uncut version of a Seinfeld episode.
Yeah, it's all, and it's him.
Yeah.
So I take, you know, those types of artists and, you know, like actors and people of creative influence. And I realize like the one thing that they don't do is change the thing that people loved about them the most.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, for example, listening to that rock track where he rapped with Tech Nine.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard that one?
Yeah, you talking about The Rock when he was rapping on that shit?
Yeah, it's
it was wild as hell.
It's like, I love The Rock, bro, but bro got his hand in shit. And I'm like, how you even get there, dog? How you get there, dog?
Yeah.
And that's like I fuck with bro. That man is a representative of childhood for a lot of us.
Shit,
And
if
I
you want to
fuck
talk
with
about
his
music,
tequila.
that's my number one. Like The Rock was like my first
Right.
superhero damn near. Oh yeah, and I love the tequila too.
Yeah. No, I'm saying
Yeah.
his tequila is fire.
Yeah, it's
The
really
Rock's,
good. Yeah.
and it's like everything else is like, how'd you get there, dog?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I think my and Mikey's shit was a consistency that was incognito. It's like if you go back and listen to our last two albums, the one from 2017 and then the one from last year, we all we do is just add more to it. You know, like we'll shake down some slang, we'll do things that our inner child and you know, like a 13, 14, 15-year-old us, if they was to get put on us, how will we blow their minds, you know?
Yeah.
And keeping that little bit, man, keeps things fun. Like when me and him is still in the studio, still, it's like this album we got with Manny Fresh, the album we about to drop a little summer series. I'm just waiting for the playoffs to end. Like I'm trying to catch people's attention. Like,
It'll be over in like 2.5 weeks.
Dropping music in an intense playoff season is like it ain't.
Nobody's paying attention.
Nobody's paying attention. I want this for the summer. So just knowing that I still have that freedom, like to certain people's, if I drop like a 6 song, we drop a 6, 7 song joint and it's all killer. It's people that gonna see us as a whole new group. They're gonna be like, oh, you ever heard of the Cool Kids? It's gonna be kids being like, damn, you ain't never heard of them.
Yeah.
And then you go back and be like, nigga, I for sure heard of them. And then I'm bringing like two worlds together. But it's like I've never had to rebrand. You know what I mean? Like we got to reinvent certain shit, but the characters and ecosystem we built has been sustainable for almost 16, 17 years.
Yeah, and that's a brand right there, man. It's kind of like one of my favorite scenes in American Gangster where Denzel was like Pepsi, it's a brand name. Like so you guys got that. And it carries on, man. And you talk about like being like some of the originators in the blog era, which to me is like the last organic era of hip hop. I kind of feel like I really don't know what the fuck's going on right now. Like
absolutely the last organic era. Because people got to make decisions, and then the highways and pathways to the music you like was curated by people that actually did the work for you. Now it's just like throw it up in the air and see if it sticks. And I mean, you get what you pay for, man. Like we don't pay for music no more, so this is what we get.
Yeah,
like ain't nobody got to make a decision. You pay $11.99, $12.99. You can listen to anybody's shit. Yeah. They even got the artists confused, thinking that people really listening to them. Like you got to stream out of curiosity. That don't fucking count for a sale. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and it's people can trick the algorithm. You know, it's sleep music that got more streams and shit than people with albums. But you know, it's all about marketing, and I feel like in the streaming tech era, it's a lot of trickery. It's a lot of
the game is rigged, in the words of
but it's done in a real evil way. Yeah. You know, like it ain't for good. This was not here for help. It was not here to help us. This shit was to line the pockets of people that was losing money during our era.
Yep.
So if you didn't like the blog era, you for sure love the streamer era if you a suit. Yeah. Because now it's money changing hands. You ain't even gotta say nothing. It don't even gotta be reported. Back then, it's like we could all exist on a website, or you know, you gotta think about, you know, if it wasn't for the blogs and people selecting things they felt like hot, like was hot. It's like when I saw the Black Hippie video, when I saw Kendrick, J-Rock, and all them, and like actually being aware of all of them separately, and then they do something and it gets posted and it's super creative. Like it ain't even no place to post nothing.
No,
you know what I'm saying? You're gonna end up on Say Cheese with motherfucker putting underneath your caption, is this hot or is this garbage? It's like, damn, that's the only option you gonna give it.
Shit. Yeah.
I'm just saying, people will post your shit and be like, is this hot or is this ain't or is bro ain't on shit? And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's a horrible way to they get your music debut. Like, imagine if Cool Kids came out and it was like, yo, Black Max video.
Is this
Is this
hot or
good
not?
or is this trash?
Yeah.
You giving niggas an opportunity to think about it as trash. Like, I would hate to be in that company.
Yeah.
So,
And I kind
you
of
know,
feel like it's like that in like entertainment in general. Like if you look at like even the writer's strike we got on going on in Hollywood right now, it's because the writers aren't getting paid streaming royalties. You know, you got
yeah, because
sports media.
there's something, dog. It's something there, bro. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I ain't going around waving this flag trying to wake everybody up. It's not really my business, but there's some money not being reported. You know what I mean? Like,
100%.
there's no way for both industries to be making record profits, and the people that create the industries
Not making nothing.
nah, like nothing, bro. And I'm
Yeah,
a writer. You know what I'm saying? On both sides, I wrote content. You know, like shows, scripts, sections of scripts. I'm not a part of the guild, but you know, it was fun for me to do, thinking that this is a sustainable lifestyle. As fucked up as it is, nothing I'm doing right now is sustainable. Like
right.
I have no job security and shit. Like I either gotta get to it, be the sharpest knife in the drawer, or like really just look at my dreams deferred, because it's no way for me even to tell an upcoming producer or a kid like yeah, I caught a wild time, and it's like my name cash checks, but if you don't got that, it's quiet.
Yeah, it's
You know what
very
I'm
tough.
saying? Like, I've been blessed that I've always made sure that your first impressions was your best. So it's like the people that be like, "Oh, Chuck, oh yeah, no, for sure."
Yeah,
But to a kid on the up and coming, it's like, "What the fuck you done did?"
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I get treated like, "What the fuck you didn't did?" Until niggas be like, "Well, nah, yeah, well, all right."
Nah, I remember what you
But still,
did.
still, we
Yeah,
about to put our people on first. You could wait, and it's
yeah,
like either with music, the only pure space I've really been finding artistically is food, and why
yeah.
I've like entertained it as much as I have over the past 2 to 3 years is I'm really good at it, and can't nobody take me out the court. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
his that's kind of like how I wanted to like bring it full circle, like to wrap it up, like, so I want to talk about like the cooking, and also you and Mikey got the night show, so I want to talk about how like you kind of infuse both of those things. And I know you kind of like you started doing more cooking like on social media like during the pandemic, like I know we was all doing
Yeah.
different stuff doing that. Like, tell me how that all came about and how you guys led it to what you're doing right now with night school, and just you hitting up different events. I know I saw you was at Lock and Key. You were doing the wings over there. Tell us just really how all that came about.
I mean, I hate to use this word, but like I'm a hustler for real. Like I'm gonna figure out how to exist, and um, me and Mikey got this humorous writing style. You know what I mean? Like we realized like there's like some real like Seth Rogen, what's bro's name from The Flash or Ant-Man? What's
Paul Rudd.
yeah, it's like we got that type of can't like banter. Like if you was around us or you stick around us a day, we might lock into a character and talking that character, just goofing around
All
all
day.
day. And I was like, okay, we could really try to keep pushing this door in, or we could do the one thing can't nobody do like us. Like we could write a sketch show, which we have. We could write a nightly news show, which we've done. And we can incorporate everything we like to do into one thing. So it's like, Mikey really a high-end fashion designer. And he been getting that shit off for such a long time that it's this cutting so brain that you gotta have to do it. It's like, all right, let's put all this on the table, but let's turn this into a jacket. So, he is a wine connoisseur. I ain't gonna say I'm a half-ass chef, but I ain't go to school. But it's people that could go to school that couldn't really
Right.
get down with me if they wanted to, because it's gotta be a certain love and a certain creativity for how you want the plate to end. So that's how we both work. Like we see how things are finished first, and then we start creating. And I wanted to really cater to the people that was original Cool Kids fans. They grown now. They married. They got kids. Like, they don't want to go to a show where it's a whole bunch of kids on the floor and jumping around and mashing and water getting splashed everywhere. Like, they be looking for date nights or, you know what I'm saying? Like trying to put their kid on it. Like I remember me and Mikey did a show where I don't know if it was in Denver. I know it wasn't in Denver. I think it might have been in Tennessee. And this shit stick to me today. And it's like this white couple came up to us and they were like, dude, we got married because of y'all. And then showed me the kid, and the kid had a little baby. They had made him a Cool Kid shirt. Like, we ain't had no baby clothes. And I was like, okay, we started a world. Like, these people might not be on the internet like we are. We might not be able to hear what they request or what they would want to do. So you got to start being like, all right, what kind of fan do I have? Like, who are Cool Kid supporters? And they can be anybody, dog. I've gone every place in the world. I don't know who the fuck is looking at me or knows who I am. And that's why I've always kept, my zipper up, because like when it's the way we did it, it's like that shit means something to people. So the way I thought about it was like, okay, well, I don't want to shortchange nobody. It ain't shit to give y'all something exactly the way we would want it if we was fans of us, which we are. So it's like, like a one ticket, we turn it into a TV show, and it's a dinner, it's a podcast, it's a show. We got our comedian homies bringing us out, like our favorite artists doing their songs with us. It's like you get a full night. And if you was to spend $100 or $200, you felt like you got your whole money's worth.
You got a whole experience.
That's the brand. It's like, I ain't overcharging. I want people to get exactly what they want for the price that they pay for. And I actually throw a couple more, you know what I'm saying? Throw a couple more sauces in the bag. Or, like when you go to a spot and you get your takeout and you look in your bag and there's hella fries in there.
And you get hella fries up in there, yeah.
Yeah, that's the Cool Kids, bro. Yeah. We just giving out hella fries.
Yeah, you go to a taco joint and get like some free churros or some shit like that.
Or yeah, it's like you got a nugget or some chicken tenders, they gave you a sauce flight. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you don't want to feel like you got over, but you definitely want to pay for something and be like, yeah, them niggas cared about me. You know what I'm saying?
That was good. That like, you don't want to be like, oh, well, I could have bought something else. Oh no, I got my money's worth here.
I got my money. I'm out. I'm going home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the parking was affordable. So it's just like little psychological stair steps that we built to be like, our brand is exactly what you thought we was. This shit cool. And, like you're going to meet other people in that community that feel like you, but they look different. You know what I mean? Like right now we got a lot of looking the same, acting the same. And when we came out, it was like cool for people to listen to other shit, but then share the Cool Kids. Yeah. Now it's like white, black, Mexican, everybody just listening to the same shit, fronting like they the same, getting the same haircuts, all that shit. Like
same experiences and shit.
Hoarding the sneakers because them niggas never had nothing. now they got some money over there buying 10, 12 pairs of some shit that we was wearing at retail price. Yeah. Like, ain't nothing worse than seeing something that was $79 that you could just freak any way you want. Yeah. And now it's like 100 and you know what I'm saying? Like 179. Like, I done seen some all white Air Forces.
I was about to say they doing that with ones now.
Like 150 for some ones is
ridiculous.
Man, I'll beat your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit make me want to steal. Cause it's like,
go to the store, get that shit 85, like in 2003, 2004.
Man, the Forces that was their brand was. This whole false exclusivity shit is weird. It's like, I ain't never stood in line for no shoes, but niggas know I got light with sneakers. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit right now where I pop out and you be like, damn, I ain't even know those looked that cold. But it's like, I went in the store, I tried them on, I put them in the box, and I left. We shouldn't have to do much more than that, bro.
Exactly, yeah.
It's like, if you like the shit, like it. Like, creating a raffle, creating a goddamn lottery, making motherfuckers feel like they gambling just to get a pair of shoes. Like, that's evil shit. And history's not gonna smile back on you gracefully. So it's like, You know, pretty much that's the culture we pushing. Like, you should be able to get this. You know what I'm saying? It's just how you rock it is how you rock it and all that. Nah, you can't have this. Like, no, the fuck you can. What's the point of that? Like, we got the internet now. You can have anything. Back when you couldn't have it, it was because you couldn't find it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why find it? Why have a website for it? But you trying to say it's sold out. Like, not sold out to the point where you ain't got no more. Sold out just so you can drive up the price.
Yeah.
That's just why we're at, because we let the nerds take over.
That's pretty much what it comes down to, man. It's
real, bro. I'll be everywhere and just be like, nigga, I didn't know you. I didn't seen you. How the fuck is you? How is you even here? And then how is you even running this? Like,
right. What happened?
And you realize, like, shit, do your homework and motherfucker related to the parent company. And you like, all right, bro, that makes sense. But it's like we can't look up and be like, damn, why is everything so weird and fucked up? Like, we let it happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, we let it happen. Like, the video shows went away. We ain't say shit. We don't got no content for music. All we do is scroll on our phones, and ain't nobody complaining about it. Ain't nobody building nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, MTV rather pick up Love and Hip Hop Atlanta.
Season 30.
Make it do different. You know what I'm saying? Like, peace to them, because all of them my homies, but you know, Ridiculousness been on for almost 6 straight years, and it be on all day. They ain't even be like, you know what? We gonna try something different today.
They play it like TBS plays King of Queens all day and shit. Like, they just be running that.
Just running it.
It's all day. Like BT do Baby Boy. It's like all fucking day.
Like BT wore Martin out. I ain't never think that I see
I would get tired of watching Martin.
Like, nah, I gotta give Martin a break right now. Because we overkill shit. We don't know. It's not even capitalism. It's just a mind state. We overkill shit because that's what everybody told you to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got big portions of food. We got unnecessarily crazy deals on shit. But then, you know, a dad might want to take his son to a game. You go to a game at Staples, bro, it's like everything $14 and up.
Whew. Especially, it's just like $800 to step on Figueroa for the damn playoffs. Like, it's ridiculous.
Bro, saying like, hey, watching the playoffs and watching, you know, the news coverage of them and them starting it being like, tickets in here are starting off at $900. It's like, that's not gonna make that kid a fan of that team, bro.
And then that kind of
y'all covering the bottom line that's gonna be invisible in a minute, because without the spirit of some shit, or without the care, or just the mystery, or the expectation that it's gonna give you some magic, like, niggas is broke, fam. Like, it's crazy out here. Like, you could say you got it, but you don't got it because the price is higher.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can't do shit in my life without it costing $100.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
$100 is like $20 now.
Yeah, and then streaming paying out like $268 a month. And you got
for millions of streams.
You got billions of streams. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. Like, I went somewhere yesterday, the valet was $25. You know what I mean? Like, ain't nobody getting paid more, but shit costing more. So it's like, I ain't gonna pocket watch you, but I know you ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? I'll be looking at it like, you ain't got that.
I mean, and that's kind of like how I feel about, like, you know, I've ran it on my show many times about with the load management. Like, you got people, you know, who their kids never been to a game. They finally saved up to go to the game. They want to see a LeBron or Steph Curry. They out tonight.
But that's why I'm gonna say this. That's why we need Jimmy to win this chip. We gotta like it's nobody I want to win more, bro. I'm over that old world shit. I don't need to see another Lakers, Boston Celtics for the rest of my fucking life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want to see, like, my next joint is in 3 years. Is it gonna be Pistons and OKC in the finals?
Yeah.
We got the new youngest dogs, and all the draft picks is over there. Like, I want to see some work ethic. I want to see somebody with a chip on their shoulder take it all the way with both of these other star players hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jimmy ain't never low managed. If he hurt, he hurt.
Ever. If he actually hurt, he hurt.
Because he got that that dog in you is the only way to get it done. Now, I love the LeBron era, but the later LeBron era, where all the politics and the moving the chess piece over here, moving the chess piece over here, really kind of cutting your time in half to look like you won when, half the season, half your players didn't play.
Yep.
Or like the Brooklyn situation where it was like, didn't nobody even like spank them niggas over the top of the head? Like, bro, y'all can't do that. We still giving them podcasts and reasons to speak, but it's like, as much as Kyrie stand for, it's like, bro, your behavior is wild, G, because you signed up for this. I don't give a fuck how woke you got or how much information you got about how really life works, but shut the fuck up because you chose this. Yeah. And it's kid, like, you gonna do more with kids watching you play and you speak when asked questions than trying to stand on some shit that, like, you just open yourself up for ridicule. Now your whole point is getting diluted. You know what I'm saying? Like, they gonna try to put, was Kyrie like Muhammad Ali? Like, it ain't nobody that's gonna let that shit slide. It's one thing that, like,
you ain't gonna slide that one in there.
I'm just saying, as much as I love Kyrie for as talented as it is, and I'm Native American too, bro. Like, I knew all the shit you found out, but it's like, what was I gonna do about it? Like, I don't got the money to walk around and be like, yeah, we should have went to college. We was here first, all that shit. It's just like, sometimes you got to know where you're at and work from there. So now if Kyrie would have dog walked the whole NBA for the past 2 seasons, like, he was him for real. Now when he say or give his explanations for shit, people going to listen. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When you missing games or you wishy-washy, but you feel like you got a point to make, don't nobody care.
I want to hear that shit. Yeah.
And this is in my personal opinion. This is like just how the world works. Like, you really got to do your job to have a say. We did everything to eradicate that being the law. Like, now everybody got something to say, and you can't say it. And if you say it and it's foul, you getting covered. Yep. Like, if somebody right now just said the wildest shit, you know what I'm saying? Like Tyler Hero ain't even playing. He could just say some wild shit. Tyler Hero said some wild shit, said nigga a couple times, all that shit. He would get more coverage than anything. Yeah. And that's just where we stay. So it's like, the controversy gets you the mic, not what you did. And it's like, I wasn't just using Kyrie as an example. It's like a lot of our sports figures right now are doing more than what they supposed to. But it's like, you got to realize, like, everybody's like, well, I'm a person too. Like, yeah, we get that shit, bro. Yeah. But you ain't getting paid $42 million and you chose to be a basketball player for you to have a change of heart, in the middle of some shit. And like I said, this ain't my personal opinion. It's just how we cover things versus what's important. And it's like, it's ruining what the mystique of the sport was. Sometimes the game is the game. The game can't be life and the game at the same time. Right. So players talking about, well, I'm not just an NBA player. Like, nigga, we don't give a fuck.
We just want you.
Like, bro, like, I did not come home from work to put on your game to hear about what the fuck you feel about not going to work. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's like me showing up to a kitchen after I agreed to do some shit. Everybody coming there for wings, and I'm just like, well,
I don't feel like cooking today.
Man, what? I was running. When you do anything, especially in the kitchen, it humbles you because you realize, like, don't nobody give a fuck, bro. Where the food at? Yeah. That's cool, Chuck. You cool and all, but where the food at? Anytime I've done a food event or any sort of collab, the work I do before the collab starts is why everybody having a good time. Like, I ain't never made nobody wait for food. Like, the lines don't never be long. And if the line is long, it's just because it's juking. It ain't because, like, I'm trying to hold up the line. I ain't never made a line outside of something so it looked cooler. You know what I mean? Like, we going to do the work. So it's just like, it's just like my comparison to sports. It's like you just get this entitlement that you think people care. Yeah. People don't care. And the one thing they don't care about the most is in sports, bro. Like, people, a lot of the athletes don't realize how much on the other side it's like the only thing they got sometimes. Like, you cover sports, bro. There's people that really wake up and their whole life is their team that they support. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
trust
and
me.
it's like, and it's been that way for generations.
Yeah.
It's how they have fun as a family. It's like you think about the Raiders niggas, like Raider fan, right?
They
A
live
family
that
of
shit,
Raider
bro.
fans, bro.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
give no fuck.
Yeah.
Like Derek Carr could have literally came back as the second coming of Christ and started a church, and they still would have been on bro head.
Exactly. That's the perfect description of Raider fans.
Yeah, it's like they don't care about shit else, but like, are the Raiders gonna win?
Yeah.
So it's just like something that people of influence and positions of power is like when I was saying about the shows that me and Mikey do, we think about the people that show up for us. You know,
Yeah.
like you have to. And you get a little bit more respect when they know you did. Like it's like think about Barry Sanders, bro. You know what I'm saying? You could think about Emmitt Smith for another running back. Barry Sanders is universally loved anywhere he goes.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't, what can you say?
Yeah.
And he's such a gentle, beautiful
Dude.
human being
Yeah.
that it's like it almost is like it lifts him up higher. Like everybody in Detroit was sad, like sad as hell, like damn, how you gonna leave us? But he ain't never say nothing. He wasn't about like, he wasn't gonna give you too much insight to his personal life on why he made a personal decision. Everybody in Detroit was like, this nigga coming back. He coming back. 2000. He coming back. 2001. He coming back. 2004. Nah, this nigga probably gone for real. 2023, we like, oh, that's one of the greatest Lions that ever lived.
Yeah.
And a great person.
Yeah.
So it's like everybody don't got to know everything, but if you are here to create and you are here to build, like, do your fucking job.
Yeah, and that shit lives on. You bring up Barry Sanders, the same thing, Walter Payton. I never saw him play. He retired the year before I was born. But when I was a little kid, my dad sat me down. It's the sweetness. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I became a Bears fan, So
it's
that's
also, it's like, that's what I'm saying. We got these social media, so we got a little bit more insight to other people's lives. But on the other end, it's like we not seeing the supremacy that it would take for people to stay the fuck out your business.
Yep.
So it's like Jason Tatum, bro, gonna have the worst summer you could ever have, nigga.
He said he look, I'm like, well, don't.
He gonna be in the presser talking about it's just a game.
Yeah.
Everybody in Boston will be like, nigga,
I ain't trying to hear that shit.
Now we ain't. You pull up. We used to not even charge you for valet, nigga. Now you gotta pay.
Now you paying.
Yeah. Jason Tatum. If Jason Tatum don't come back, bro, his meals in Boston gonna have a $30 surcharge on it. Because these athletes think these people was playing with them. It's the same thing. It's like if I was to overshare or if I was to use what people know as to me and start complaining about, oh, well, the industry did this to us and all that shit. The reason why everybody know what happened to the cool kids, we walked in the door, labeled shit, had a whole bunch of compression and suppression on us, but we didn't get into that. We took us a little break. Don't nobody know why. Me and Mikey, all the cool kids broke up for a minute. We ain't say nothing about each other. We ain't say nothing about why we broke up. And then one day we like, shit, we back. And everybody's like, bet. With no ridicule or criticism as to why. Because you're not supposed to tell everybody everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's in every single form of entertainment. Like, I'd have been sick if we lived through the Iverson era and Iverson had an IG.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's no way I would bet against AI not upping the strap in the club. It's no way that didn't happen. It happened.
Yeah, it 100% happened. It just nobody caught it.
It happened, bro. Yeah. I remember when he dropped the rap song.
Yeah, it was like 2000, 2001.
Jewels. When he was Jewels.
Yeah.
And bro, that man went through it all on.
They was gonna trade his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Now imagine if Jordan was on IG or if the Shade Room posted Jordan Daddy dying.
Yeah, or catching them at the FanDuel a lot at like 3 a.m. after a finals game.
That's what I'm saying. It's like people that want the privacy got to give themselves the privacy. You know what I'm saying? You want people out your shit, don't tell them. Be about your work. You know what I'm saying? Like all the political sidebar and, coming to the arena dressed like a goddamn Teletubby. You know what I'm saying? Like you killing it. It's like you killing it. And you got to understand that certain things got parameters, and you can't just stretch it. Like cutting the grass is cutting the grass. You can't put the lawnmower over the water. So it's like we got to play the game that's on the court. So that's in every single thing. So like just to double back and round out, like that's what me and Mikey whole vision has been. Like just build the shit they like, man. Then we don't have to bring despair and be all encompassing. Like niggas don't. You having a day where you cry and you get on IG and cry on IG, you wasn't really crying, bro.
Nah, you just trying to do
I ain't never cried and picked my phone up. Like, let me look at my ugly ass crying face just so somebody felt sorry for my ass. Like, that's where you lose.
Give dope shit.
But you lose your magic then. You know, you thinking that everybody wants to be empathic for you, and it's not the truth, bro. Like if I walked outside and I like crossed the street, but my foot got stuck, right? And the traffic's coming, they gonna blow their horn and tell me get the fuck out the street. They're not gonna say, oh man, this man got stuck right here and his ankle probably hurts. They don't give a fuck. It could have been the church bus. They still would have been like, get your ass out the street. So that's the most important lesson in life I've ever learned is people care, but they really don't.
They really don't. Yeah.
So if you want them to care, you're going to get crickets. Like you got to catch humans where it's human at, where they saw you, they could feel it. Yeah. Like, damn, man, let's raise some money for bro, or let's get bro together. You know what I mean? Like it's always the people not begging for shit that ends up receiving some of the most fruitful blessings when people see like they struggle. So yeah, man, I was long-winded for nigga.
Nah, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you. I think the best way to end it, in the words of Vince McMahon, give the people what they want.
That's all they want, man. Like that's why McDonald's is still cracking. It's what they want. Like you can't tell them what they want. You ain't gonna make no organic plant-based McDonald's sandwich and it's gonna sell. You know what I mean? Definitely. You can't do everything. McDonald's got McDonald's. The healthy spots got the healthy spots. It's up to you to figure out where you want to go.
Yep.
So, and give the people what you want, man.
Hey man, thank you for joining me. Let them know where they can follow you, where they can get in tune with you and everything like that.
On Twitter is Chuck is Dope. Instagram is Old English, but I'm more on Twitter. I just post party flyers and food on IG.
On Instagram.
I don't even be fucking on IG no more. Like I go on there and I think I want to see what somebody did, and it's post from 2 days ago mixed with a post from 6 hours ago. And it's just, you know, I just know when the party's over. This bitch like MySpace in 2010.
It's on the ending of it, man.
Just catch me on Twitter. That's where shit go down now. And I caved in and bought it because fuck it. You know what I mean? Like I'm good at it. You know what I'm saying? You're charging the price of a croissant a month.
Damn yeah.
And I get unlimited characters and I can watch movies on that bitch now. Fuck it.
I'm good to go.
Yeah. But yeah, man, thanks for having me.
No doubt, man. This is I'm not gonna hold you to off season, man. We'll be back next week. We out.
All right, man.
Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on